Today, I'm going to show you how I can bash these out in just a couple hours. These are quick sellers this time of year, so don't be afraid to bash them out in big numbers. I'm going to give you a couple ideas on some different variations, but I'd love to hear your ideas as well, so leave those in the comments below. As always, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and let's get started. The first thing we need to do is rip down our boards to the desired width. And I'm making two different sizes here, so I'm going to make a couple different widths. These don't have to be exact, it's more of an aesthetic thing. I think it's a key selling feature to have different sizes actually. I find people like to have a choice. That way if they see a couple of the same products floating around the craft show, they can still pick something up that is unique to them. But for the sake of this video, the smaller version I'm going to make is going to be out of wood that is 2.5 inches wide, where the larger one is going to be about 3.25 to 3.5. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. These boards I'm ripping down are 60 inches long, and for the smaller tree, I can make a whole tree out of one of these strips. For the larger, I'm going to need a little bit more, as they're about 67 inches in stock altogether. I'll be sure to include a cut list somewhere in this video, so keep an eye out for that. Every cut on this project is 30 degrees on the miter saw. That's it. Just set it once and forget about it. It can't get any easier than that. The first time I do any cut variation, I like to make a mark and make a reference to the direction that the angle's going, just so I don't get it mixed up. So I just hand draw a little reference. Oh my goodness, that's a horrible angle. What is that? Second line for the save. Once I measure out for each cut, I set up a stop block so I can make multiples of these. This afternoon I'm going to make 10 to 12 of these trees depending on how much wood I rip up, and it's really going to take me no time at all. I'm just going to fly through these babies. You need to flip your piece after every cut in order to get the trapezoid shape that's needed for the bottom pieces and the two very top pieces. For the 4 side pieces, you simply just slide your piece up to the stop block after every cut, and that'll give you a parallelogram, adjusting your stop block for each different cut, of course. And if you don't quite know what I mean, this seems like a fitting spot to put up the pictures of the cut list. Hope this clears things up a bit. So just mimic the cuts and the angles you see in these pictures, and you're off to the races. Again, all angles are 30 degrees. And once I get all my pieces cut, it's time to give every piece a quick sand. And it doesn't have to be real detailed sand, I'm just going to use 120 and spend just a few seconds on each piece. And believe it or not, I'm actually kind of looking forward to sanding these. The people at base camp sent me one of their masks to try out, and I gotta tell you, I'm in love with this thing. This thing is super light and very stretchable, which makes it fit pretty comfortable on my face, even with my beard. You wear it up high on your head, and since you got the little Velcro straps to adjust on the back, it's very simple and quick to make small adjustments as needed. Batching these out is definitely the way to go. I only build these once a year. Once I get my stop block set up, I cut enough pieces to do 10 or 12 trees. And you can see the pile beside me. That pile, believe it or not, only took me about 30 minutes to cut. Now that we get everything sanded, we're ready for assembly. But if you want to use the T-light version, you're going to want to make your hole in the bottom piece prior to assembly. And for that, I'm just going to mark center and use an 1.5 inch Forstner bit to drill all the way through. And I'll use a scrap piece of wood on the bottom of it just to prevent any blowout. I prefer putting the T-lights in the smaller version of the trees, but that's completely up to you. For assembly, I like to use my table saw. That way I can utilize the fence to hold my pieces nice and tight while I pin nail them. And I like to start by doing the very top piece first. Then I'll glue up the bottom horizontal piece and the 2 bottom vertical pieces. Now for every part from here on out, I want to measure and make sure I've got the same amount of overlap on each piece. That way it stays nice and even the whole way up. And I do about 1 inch. This ruler here is 1 inch thick, so I just use that as my reference. You can use a piece of wood or anything you have. But just make sure all the pieces are marked the same. I add a little glue below my mark. And when I assemble these, I just tuck that pencil mark in behind the bottom piece. That way I don't have to worry about sanding it off. Keeping everything even not only looks good, but it's going to help you a lot when it comes to ripping down pieces if you choose to fill in the back of the tree. Mark out the top piece you've already built, and make sure everything looks nice and even before throwing a couple nails in. Mark center on the bottom of your tree, as well as the largest of the remaining two pieces. You can use these to line it up and make sure everything's centered. There's no need to mark the very last piece for center, it's just going to sit nice and flush. And that tree's done. And all trees are going to be assembled the exact same way. It really doesn't matter how wide the wood is or how long it is, you're going to follow the same steps. I'm going to fill in the back of one of the larger trees, so I'm going to take my square and measure from the bottom up to the bottom of the second side piece, and then I'll take that number and divide it in half, and that's what I'm going to rip my pieces down to. All of these angles are still 30 degrees, so a simple way to get these measurements is just to make one 30-degree cut, line it up flush with the edge, and then use a pencil to make a mark on the other side. Then just add some wood glue and some nails and work your way up. And notice here how no board overlaps two different sections of the tree. And I like to add one bottom piece to the front of the tree as well. I just find it kind of hides part of the candle you put in there and it just looks better. And don't forget to sand those back pieces first. You wouldn't want to have to go back in and sand that by hand. After I fill all the nail holes and sand the putty off, it's on to staining. Well, staining for some, the others I'm going to actually burn. The burn look actually does quite well at any craft show I've been to. It's easy to do. I don't know if it actually costs more or less than stain when you think about it. I mean, you do pay for the gas, but it is quicker. And for an added touch, I'm going to add some lights to a couple of these. I'm just going to use a hot glue gun, and I'm going to strategically put my little battery pack here on the base and kind of make it look like it's supposed to be there, making sure that the on-off switch is on the outside, of course. And then I'll wrap the wires around the tree nice and tight, and I'm going to kind of use the underside of these outside pieces so that I can hide some little dabs of glue and make it less noticeable. And that's it. The build's complete. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and give it a like. I got more videos like this coming up in the future that you're not going to want to miss. Till next time.